All right, so we are ready. So could you
All
please
right.
go on?
Okay. The topic that I'm going to cover today will be about three topics. First of all, I would like to tell everyone about who we are, what is the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and secondly, I would like to talk about the space industry update. And then three, I'll speak about the space technology and the local development. And at the end of the day, on my sessions, I would like to receive some questions from the panel. So it will be a Q&A. So please kindly flip on to the next slide for me, please. So I'm going to talk about who we are. Okay, go on to the next slide.
Okay.
On the next slide, you will see our campus in Huntsville, Alabama, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Can you see a lot of rockets and the spacecraft? Are you with me on that slide?
Yes.
Okay. On
We're
that slide, you will
following you.
see on that slide, you will see the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, NASA, and Smithsonian. And the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is the home to Space Camp, and also it holds the largest and biggest spacecraft and rocket museum in the world, run by the Smithsonian. And also, we are the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, and the Marshall Space Flight Center is the largest NASA center in the U.S. So please go on to the next slide.
All right.
On the next slide, you will see our founder, Dr. Vern Halfon Brown, and he found the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in 1970. And since then, the U.S. Space Rocket Center served as the official NASA visitor center for Marshall Space Flight Center and is an affiliate of the Smithsonian. And please go on to the next slide, please. And then you see Khrushchev and Sputnik. Khrushchev and Sputnik was the reason of the foundation of NASA and also the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. As everyone knows that the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, and it got a response from the U.S. by establishing NASA to respond over to the Soviet Union technological advancement in space. So it became the space race as everyone knows it. Please go on to the next slide. So during the 1960s, Khrushchev and Kennedy fought on a lot of facets. From military, from industry revolution, from gaining more allies, and also on winning over the space race. So at the beginning, it was the Soviet Union that took over the free world, but at the end of the space race, as everyone knows it, that it ended up with the U.S. won the war of the space race and also the Cold War by sending the Neil Armstrong up into the moon. So as everyone will see that the beginning of the space industry and also during the 30 years of its progress, it was the world of the states. The state compete together. At the beginning, it was between the Soviet Union and the U.S., and later on the Russian, and then the India, China, and Japan, and a lot of great powers. Please go on to the next slide. And then less than 40 years. Please go on to the next slide. We have to update because please go on to the next slide.
Okay.
The industry has changed because the state is no longer an entity that dominate on the space industry. The space industry has now become a business. And because since Burt Rutan launched his Spaceship One into the Kármán line, and that's mean 100 kilometers above the Earth. At that point, please go on to the next slide. The Virgin Galactic was found in 2004. So you see that the development of space, right at the moment, it has now turned to become a business between the private industry, private partners, not only within the states or the government. Please go on to the next slide. And SpaceX by Elon Musk was found in 2002. And then on the next slide, you see the Blue Origin. It was founded in 2000. So the space industry in itself, by the private development, per year, this industry has grown up about 1,600% per year. Let me illustrate that. 1,600% growth per year by the private growth. So please go on to the next slide. In April this year, a team of students was the first time in human history launched its own rocket into the space. So the space is now become. Please go on to the next slide. It will become like a car. It can become the institutional vehicle whereby an institution or individuals can explore space by their own right. So the industry has grown very far and very fast. Please go on to the next slide. So the implication on this is that the growth of the space is boundless. It has the space has no limits of imagination, and also has no limit on the development. So please go on to the next slide. So now I would like to speak on the question relating to the space technology and the local development upon the experience that I have with the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Please go on to the next slide. First of all, I would like to speak about food. And about the food, we have ran a program with GISTA, that is right now the Science and Technology Department of Thailand. We have ran this program, the Food and Microgravity, the Thai Food to Space. And please go on to the next slide. And we have cooperated with GISTA and with the Mu Space, which is the Thai space company, and we also cooperate with Blue Origin as well. Please go on to the next slide. We created the space durian, the space elephant. And then please go on to the next slide. And when we launched the space durian into orbits on June 15, 2018, with the help of the Blue Origin rocket. So we were the first in the world to successfully launch space durian into space. So move on to the next slide. So it has become the news that report all over the world, by the BBC News, by CNN, that Thailand was the first country in the world to launch the durian into space. So what are the implications on this? Please go on to the next slide. The implication would be that Thailand can increase its capability of the food chain development of the whole chain. Besides, it can increase the value of their food product to become the MRE, or the meals ready to eat, and it can serve in the needed area or in the disastrous area. Please go on to the next slide. So this means that we can increase the whole chain, the whole value chains of the food industry, from the field to space, and from the business to the kitchen, and from the kitchen to the farmer. So we can work all over it. So that is the first space technological development that has an implication on the local. So the local will get a lot of benefits on this development as well. So please go on to the next slide. On the next slide, I would like to speak over the education. And on the education, King Rama IX was the first person in Thailand to use satellites, and then he used satellite to connect the classroom in the more advanced school to the more needed school in the suburb. So that was the beginning of the satellite learning in Thailand. And now we have the digital learning as well. So the space technology can come and then increase the capability of human development in this case. So please go on to the next slide. So for the rural development, space technology can help with the education. We can connect to the national guru, and we can connect people all over the country for the school that are underdeveloped. Please go on to the next slide. And besides, we can use space as the inspirational learning for the student as well. In 2014 and 2015, we import the spacecraft and rocket into Thailand to inspire a lot of students and teacher and youth. Please go on to the next slide. So we were joined by one of the moonwalker, Charles Duke, with the Apollo 16 coming to Thailand. And then that exhibition was very inspirational, and then it laid the groundwork for our creation of the Discovery Thailand Astronaut Scholarship Program. Please go on to the next slide, to the Discover Thailand Astronaut Scholarship Program. So this program that you can see is the creation between the Thai government, the US government, the NASA, and also a lot of Thailand private companies, and also the Royal Thai Army as well. It was the first time in Thailand and in Southeast Asia that we launched the Space Exploration Scholarship Program, and more than 1,000 students throughout Thailand came and then compete for this scholarship. And we have now sent 6 students to study in NASA for this program. So it has become the inspiration of a lot of the students, both in local and in the urban area, to put their attention on STEM and on space exploration. It will become a great inspiration for them to develop their own career and also their entrepreneurial interest in the future. Please go on to the next slide. So you can see our brochure. And next, go on to the next slide. A lot of students came and then took part in the exam. Please go on to the next slide. And then that was on the launch day. So next, I would like to talk about our program on the local development regarding the privately built transportational rockets. In Thailand, we call it as Bang Phai. Please go on to the next slide. The Thai rockets or Bang Phai is a more than 1,000 years old technology, and the change in technology is only from the bamboo to the PVC. The whole 1,000 years, it has the only change is for the material. Bamboo on the left side and the PVC on the right side. That was the only change. So we decided that it must be connected. So please go on to the next slide. We work with the King Mongkut Institute of Technology and work with the Thai Army to re-engineer the Thai rockets with the fins. And also, please go on to the next slide. We attach the GPS to the Thai rockets. So, and then we name it as the Elephant Rocket number 1 or Chang San number 1. So now we can follow up the rocket. We can measure the altitude, and then next we will try to control the rocket by ourselves. So So it will become a more advanced rocket in the future. So please go on to the next slide. We launched it at Yasothon, and a lot of villagers, a lot of local people came to help, and it was, and our experience was beyond what we imagined, because a lot of villagers and a lot of local people, they knows about physics, they know about the the engineering of the rockets. So I think that if Thailand were to be focused on this and have the local to participate on that, and then fixing up the law, we think that Thailand industry on rocket could develop dramatically. Why we believe that? The reason we believe that is because, please flip on to the next page. We can measure the launch, and the system is very powerful, and then we believe that if the states and the private entities really focus on it, the Thai rocket could be able to reach the Cayman line, or 100 kilometers over the Earth. So it can become a very commercialized rocket, and it will grow a lot of industry in Yasothon and Riot as well. So please go on to the next slide. So this slide, I would like to introduce our hometown, that is the Huntsville, Alabama, in which we call the Rocket City. On your left side, you see Alabama in 1950, and on your right side, you see Alabama and currently in 2000. It has become a great development, and the key to development is about the rocket and about the research. Please go on to the next slide. And at Yasothon, we think that if we have a very true and cooperative, we can develop Yasothon to become another industrialized rocket cities of the kingdom as well. So that we believe that it can be done, because you have a great foundation of culture, you have a lot of people interest on that. It is just that you have to put the state of effort and the state policy to direct the people to study and concentrate on that. So please go on to the next slide about the space and arts. Please go on to the next slide. You will see the picture of BNK-48, and with Prang in front. That was the cooperation between the U.S. Space and Rocket Center and BNK-48. I would like to say that the Thai youth wait for a long time, and then they wait for a chance or the opportunity to participate in this space program. They are very enthusiastic, and not only about the people who are prone to arts and for the music, but for the people who are science prone as well. So we have to be very straightforward, and we have to be we have to very put an attention onto the youth, so that they can develop dramatically on this industry. So please go on to the next slide. So next, I would like to speak on the truly global internet. On the truly global internet, please go on to the next slide. You will see Jeff Bezos. Recently, he and also not only the Jeff Bezos, but a lot of business person at the moment, including Elon Musk, for the Amazon. He declared that Jeff Bezos declared that he would launch 3,236 satellites to cover the Earth, so that he can provide the high-speed internet to every people, every individual on Earth. Because at the moment we have about 6,000 million people on Earth, but only 2 billion people, only 2.5 billion people that is now served and connected by the internet. So we have about 5 billion people who are right now underserved or not connected. So these are green oceans. And the business see this opportunity to expand their service to 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 the underserved people. So on this space technology, every people on Earth, every people in every local, including in Thailand, will be connected, and it will be a truly digital world. Please go on to the next slide. Truly digital world, not only by means of communication and by means of traveling. Please go on to the next slide. And by means of the currency as well. Because about 2 weeks ago, as everyone have heard, and it has become the talk of the world at the moment, that Facebook, with their partners, will next year launch their own currency, and that's the name is Libra. And with the connection of the internet and the high-speed internet, with every individual on Earth, that is about 7.5 billion people on Earth, this one will be a truly globalized world in which people can be connected not only by face, by communication, but also by business. So this one, it has a very big implication to the world because it will be truly globalized. And the local will all be penetrated, and everyone can access to the information, good or bad, and also can connect by the currency or by business as well. So everything will be totally changed, and we have to be able to imagine the future so that we can and so that we can engineer our legal system, our social system, and our educational system to be at least 10 years before the development of the current situation. Please go on to the next slide. And last but not least, I would like to speak about the management of the local natural resources. And on this, NASA with the Surveyor Department, we have the department that takes care of the resources and monitor the usage of the resources in Africa, in Himalaya, and also in the Mekong sub-region as well. So we have great resources on this. Please go on to the next slide. And this is the Surveyor and also the ADPC or ASEAN Disaster Preparedness Center. These are the teams in Thailand. The team in Thailand is just around the RE area. And then you can ask for the cooperation from them for the information on the resource management, on the resource situation in Thailand. So this is a very advanced technology institution, and it is open for cooperation for any institution in Thailand that would like to work with us. So on the next slide, I would like to thank you everyone for your kind attention, and I wish this slide and this presentation can more or less give you some perspective on how space technology can help develop the local situation at the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir,
Thank you.
let me ask any questions to ask him. Anybody would like to ask or sharing? Because I think is the good topic to talk. I mean, you already open our perspective into the new world actually. Because I think for the space is kind of news for our life right now, or maybe it's become as a trend in the future, right?
Actually, I wanted to say that it is like your eyebrow. It is too close to you, and that you wouldn't know that you have the eyebrow in front of your face, right? Because why I speak like this? I speak like this because up in the morning, a lot of people check your telephone, and if you check your cell phone, you use some kind of satellite. In coming to the seminars today, did anyone use the GPS in coming to the seminars? Anyone use the GPS?
มีใครใช้
And if
GPS มาไหมคะวันนี้หาม
and
หา
if
ลัย
it,
เราไม่เจออะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
and if
Yes.
anyone use the GPS, it means that you use the space technology already. So it is very close to you.
Right.
It's too close. And then anyone today or yesterday listened to the weather forecast. Anyone listen to the weather forecast or follow up the weather forecast whether there will be a rain today or not? Does anyone follow on that today?
Yes.
Anyone listen to the weather forecast today?
มีใครฟังพยากรณ์อากาศไหมคะ Yes, I think all of us actually because
Yes.
today is raining here.
Okay. If you listen to weather forecast, it means that you use space technology already. So that's why I say that it is too close, right? And a lot of things that you use right now. I'm standing in the field in here, and then in this afternoon I will talk to the Karen people, the Karen Hill tribe, and then we will talk on how we use the space technology to cooperate with the Karen tribe as well. So I'm going up to that little mountain, not little, quite big mountain, and we also will cooperate with NASA to manage this land and resources as well. So that's why I'm standing here today.
I see. So, any questions? Okay. I think someone will ask you very soon.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gaurav. I'm from Siam Technology College, Bangkok, Thailand. Well, you just covered a lot of topics in a very short while, though. So, the first one you spoke about was taking food to the space, and then developing rocket industries, and then it was about digitalizing the whole world, especially helping the people who do not have access yet to the internet.
That's right.
Right? And next
Right.
you talked about Libra, the new currency which Facebook's going to start.
Right.
So, I would like to ask you one question, because you focused time and again on employment opportunities in Thailand by developing rocket industries, because you are focusing mostly on rural areas of this country. So, what are your plans in developing such rocket industries in Thailand so that Thai people can get jobs here? And another question is, giving access to everyone in the world, giving access to the internet to everyone in the world, how feasible do you think it is? Because it costs some amount of money, because we all have to pay some amount of money every month for having access to the internet. So there are so many people who do not have that much of money to even have proper food every day. So in that case, in order to give internet service, it has to be free, especially for the poor people. So in that case, the government has to play a very important role in aiding poor people and the underprivileged to have access to the internet. So what are your thoughts on these things? Thank you.
Thank you. All two great questions. So let me answer on the first questions about the employment of the rocket industry in Thailand. So I would like to use our own experience at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. In the 1950s, Alabama was quite a very rural and poor province, poor township in the U.S. And right now it has turned to become a very advanced township, and also we hold the second largest R&D facility in the U.S. at the moment. The reason behind that was because of the development of the rocket industry in Huntsville, Alabama. So coming to the Yosothon province or the Riot province, the way in which to employ people in this rocket industry. First of all, we have to. Upon my discussion with the team is that first of all, we have to legalize that province to have the free competition of the rocket from all over the world. We have to welcome the rocket competition from the US, from Japan, from Brazil, from European countries to come to rocket, to come to Yosothon and Riot, and then turn that city to become a hub of rocket in Asia. I would like to use Kun Nevin Chitchop ideas of turning Buriram to become the sport hub of Thailand. And right now, from the sport hub of Thailand, he turned Buriram to become the e-sport of Thailand as well. And from his ideas, he turned a lot of people upside down, from poor people to have a new job and new opportunity. So in this case, I think in Yosothon area and in Riot area, first of all, we have to legalize people to be able to do their job, turn this what some people call as the gamble industry to become a legal industry, and the rocket will become the basis of their subsistence, so that they can develop a new rocket industry on competition level and also on the professional level as well. And then we must put a goal for them that if they can reach they came online, then there will be a reward given. There will be a job given. So if they can reach the came online, that means that they can put the satellite more or less into the orbits. So things will be turning around for Riot and Buri and Yosothon province. So I think that the first things to fix up is about the law and about the perspective on Bang Fai or on the Thai rocket. So things will turn around. The same as what we have experienced at Huntsville, Alabama. So on your second questions, can you repeat for me a little bit about your second question? It was a little bit of
Yes, the second question was giving access to internet to everyone.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, about the cost and about the possibility of giving internet to everyone. So in the first on the second questions, I would like I have two issues to discuss over this. One, I would like to talk about the software. If you remember, we have to pay a lot for the software. Software can cost a lot of money. But today, companies provide software for free. And then they try to convince people to download their software because they would like to gain the data. And then if there are a lot of people to download their software, then they have a lot of user. And when they have a lot of user, then they can use that user to become a lot of facets of their customer. For example, if you remember the first phase of Grab used to be a software in which you used to call taxi. Now you can use Grab to ask for food, and then the food can deliver to your door. And now it will become the financial software as well, in which in the future people can do the lending by using their software as well. So it has progressed dramatically. So on the internet and on the Jeff Bezos, I am quite sure that his business is not about having people to use Amazon high-speed satellite internet and then pay him the pay him the fee of usage. That may be a super high speed internet. If you were to choose, you may have to pay him. But if people all over the world, or the people who just access to the world of the internet, I think that Jeff Bezos wouldn't collect the money, but he would open for the platform for the 5 billion people to use his platform, and it will become like Alibaba. That 5 billion people become a customer of his database, and then those people trade on his platform by using his high-speed internet. So he can trade a lot of items from his bookstore or Amazon, or he can open his new platform for the people, not only the B2B but B2C as well, or C2C, to trade among themselves. So it will become a new digital world by and trading through his satellite system. And then in the future, I'm sure that after the launch of the Libra, Amazon may launch their own currency as well. So it's the world and up until now, the key is about cash, about money. But from now on into the future, the key is about data, and the data can gain when people use your service. And when people use your service, you know them everything from the time that they wake up, the time that they go to work, the times that they come back, what they eat, what they do, what they plan. You know everything about them. So I think that's the plan of Jeff Bezos of having the database of the 5 billion people, untapped 5 billions. So I think that his platform may be free, but he look forward for the people to get into his platform and then become his lifetime customer on every facet of their life. So it will become the lifetime or livelihood or the lifestyle or the lifestyle platform for the people. So a lot of people trying to tap into this, and Jeff Bezos was the first to launch on this, and I think that it will be for free.
All right. So
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Very good. Thanks. A great concept.
Thank you.
Thanks.